to hear one of our shows again? We've got them on podcast. Go to fmmoneytalkradio.com. Scroll down to Podcast on Demand. Pick your show, and it's on. Podcast on fmmoneytalkradio.com.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. The month of January is done.
Can you believe that?
No.
It's the last week in January.
Are you there?
Huh? Beyond the glare?
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing.
It's the beast. It requires a lot of lighting.
It does? I can't. This is crazy.
I didn't even see you over there. All of a sudden I heard, what happened?
I feel like the sun is
The
in here.
beast.
The beast.
I can pretend I'm at the beach, though. We should get a green screen and we can be at the beach. That'd be really funny. Hey, Vinny, let's put a beach backdrop. Let's pretend we're at the beach. Put our feet up.
What are you talking about? You got a lake backdrop.
We have a waterfall. It's lovely. It's a good thing we're at the beach because we've got Dr. Anya Temmer with us, and today's her day off, so she's at the beach.
I'm shocked.
I know.
How did you get her to come in on her day off? I would have told you
asked.
absolutely not.
Well, I rescheduled my day off for another day.
I said, I know it's your day off, but we would really love to see more of you. So I'm excited that she's here with us for a little bit. I know we only have you for about 20 minutes, but we got a lot going on. They call today hump day, or the other side of the half of the week, or whatever you want to call it. But it's Wednesday, and today we get to celebrate Vinny's birthday. His birthday was on Monday. He is the ripe old age of 25.
Yes.
So we get to celebrate Chenzo's birthday, and you know, it's mostly the guys have been in the house today.
Yes.
Me and Teddy and the guys. I'm glad Dr. Tem is here to kind of even it out.
Yes.
You're not talking much.
No.
How do you like what happened today? Slicking his feet took out a TV, and then Blake goes to move some paintings.
And took those out.
And then they're putting a wire in the paintings, and I get up because I couldn't take the chaos anymore. And I look at you on the couch. I said, "Do you plan on getting out of your seat?"
And what did I say?
You said no. And you continued to be on your phone. How do you do that? Dad, is that a dad thing?
Let me ask you a question.
It's a man thing.
London Bridge is
I'm
falling.
like, the house is burning, but would you want to get off your phone? No.
When the TV went down, what was I going to do to fix that? Nothing. Nothing. Now, if the camera was going to come down, I would have thrown myself at it. But I saw already what was happening there. The painters were under control, but like Dawn fashion.
I had to get up and run around in circles. I know.
you decided to get up and run around in circles. So if I got up, I just would have crashed into you. It would have been a disaster.
We did so many things. I even had them set up for the wrong show this afternoon. Jay Harmon, your show is ready to go 24 hours early.
A little early.
But that's okay. It's all set now for him for tomorrow.
It is.
Whatever else we have in there tomorrow, we'll just reposition things. But he's good to go now.
Now, I'm excited because Blake is back in the house, and we're talking about the Star International recording label that we have. And we are now all going to offer video production for these songs, for music.
Yes, which will be
Music
fantastic.
videos. Is that what it's called, music video?
And this afternoon, we've got Amy Reshevsky's show.
We have. So Taco Taco by Margot, which you hear at the beginning of every show and the morning show. We're actually going to be sending her all over the world. We got an airline. It's slick. If you don't stop doing this, I'm going to hit you with my shoe. You drive me nuts over here. There you go. And that's
Slick
nice. You can
says.
put it on Roku. That's not a problem. And we're going to send her all over the world to play her violin in a show of unity, because I know some other
I
people
almost
have
were like,
done
oh, I need a drink.
it. Why?
It'd be like a great water bottle.
What?
Keep going.
Sending all over the world. Don't listen to the woman behind the curtain, from the movie. And it's exciting. It's a nice, exciting piece. And even Blake got excited, and Blake never gets excited.
It's a lot of things going on. I'm really excited. I have some big news.
Tell me.
I've been working with Dr. Temmer. I'm not going to give you the details on my holistic, better health journey. So far, I had my labs drawn, and I have to tell you, I had this conversation with myself this morning because I went to draw my labs, and she brought me the requisition form in the box. The box was about this big, and I got to tell you, I was a little scared, so I kept putting it off and putting it off. I said to Freddie when I left this morning, if I die, come find me. He goes, but if you're dead, I won't know where you are. Because I thought they were going to draw like an entire box worth of blood. You know, in that big box, there were 2 vials. 2! And the whole thing, a lot of styrofoam. They were so nice. The place was 1.5 miles up the street. It's like Yamato and 2nd. It was so close. I pulled in, no appointment, drew the blood, and I was back here within 15 minutes. And I got to tell you, it was just overcoming the fear of doing it. So that was a big hurdle I overcame, was doing it.
The bandage was bigger than you.
I know.
It's good that you told me because I didn't realize there's so much fear and resistance that goes into this process. From now on, I'll
Well, I don't normally, because I have to get my thyroid checked all the time. But you checked off like 30 things.
Yeah.
Well, 30 things at a regular lab are
Yeah.
30 vials.
Okay.
And I thought 30 vials, I'm going to be passed out on the floor somewhere after 5. And even though they were so organized, it was just the 2. I guess they can run a lot from 1 vial, which was fantastic. But yeah, I was a little anxious because it was the whole left side of the requisition form
all
you
of
did.
your vitamins, all your minerals.
So I was going to
all-
say, so what are we looking for? I'll fill you in on the details as they come back, but what are we looking for?
Absolutely. So when we usually get our blood drawn in regular, doctor's offices, we check for only a few deficiencies, B12, D3, sometimes magnesium, calcium, things like that. But there's so many more that we have, like the whole list that you're talking about. All of them are all the vital micronutrients and vitamins and minerals that we need, that our body needs to function properly. And if our body's trying to do something like heal us from some kind of inflammation, and it doesn't have building blocks, it's like we're trying to build a house, but we forgot to bring the bricks and the construction materials. So that's what we're checking. Does your body have the proper construction materials?
But these are things that you would think you would just normally have, because most regular lab works don't test that your vitamins and nutrients like that.
Nope. And don't ask me why. I don't know why the system became the way it has, but there's a lot of vital information that we're missing from regular annual appointments. Toxicity, deficiency, all of those things are vital to our health.
The simple things that they don't check for, like magnesium, which is an important component to a lot of things.
So many things.
Nobody checks magnesium or phosphorus. Nobody checks for
The
that
most
either.
common thing that people can't sleep with insomnia, with restless leg syndrome, is just a simple magnesium deficiency, and people suffer for years.
For years, and that's about where I'm at.
And the funny thing about it is because it's easier to give Prozac than it is a magnesium pill, and the cost of doing that is bigger on the Prozac than it is on magnesium. So that's why they don't
So
bother.
it's not
with
about easier, it's about what you just said.
it. About money. Well, I'm going to call it what it is.
But it was so easy, and I have to say, I talked to myself on the way back going, all that fear for nothing. All that fear of, I can't get a lab appointment. Well, here's this other whole COVID thing. When you go to get regular labs, you can't get an appointment at a lab right now for 3-4 weeks out. So I thought it would be a 3-4 week deal.
Yeah, no, because
They don't
this
even
is
take
more
appointments.
comprehensive, in-depth lab companies. They have private lab, locations that are pretty much empty all the time, and you have a private, individualized appointment. You just come in and you get it done right
And
away.
it wasn't even an appointment. They said, just come anytime.
Oh, perfect. That's even better.
They said, come anytime, come in the morning. It
Is
was
this a new place?
No,
nationwide lab.
no.
They told me they do COVID testing. They do the swabs.
Where is it? Right up the street?
You know where the Panera is on Yamato and Second?
No.
Just
Oh,
take
yes.
Second all the way up to Yamato, right
Yeah.
there.
Really?
A freestanding building. I could not believe when I put in my GPS where it was. I went, holy smokes, this is unbelievable. So close and so nice. And it didn't take 3 weeks for an appointment. They did it, done.
Well, the thing with that is that unfortunately it takes so long because we have to go through insurances when it comes to those. These particular labs, yes, they're out of pocket because the insurances, I don't know why, don't cover it, but that's why you get a different quality of service. You get
Totally
quicker
different.
service and in-depth.
And it's out of pocket, but when you suffer for as long as people suffer with things and you can't find the answer from conventional labs because it says you're fine, but you don't feel the way you want to feel. And yes, I know I'm 50, almost 54. Am I almost 54?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
You will be soon.
Wow. Now 53,
I'll be
54.
59.
Freddie.
Wait till I hit 60, I'm out of here.
And
I'm
you
done.
tell me all the time I'm not 20 anymore, but I want to feel like I'm 20 though. I
First
think
of all,
I
I
am.
don't say that.
You're
I don't-
not 20 anymore. I know I'm not
I don't
20
say
anymore.
it. She's taking it out of context. When you're 54, you don't feel like you were
54.
53. Some things ache. You got to ignore and keep going.
It's,
No, you don't have to
all
ignore. You can come
started
to
at 50.
us, to Total Holistic
Well, there are
Center.
certain-
well, that's what I'm doing
there are
now.
certain parts, she works out heavy.
Yeah.
And the soreness in the joints takes a little bit longer to recuperate. And Dawn doesn't give it a chance to recuperate. And she keeps working at it until she hurts herself. And this is what happens. So she has a bad shoulder, she has a bad elbow, and then that turns into a psych job. And all of a sudden that becomes an issue. And I don't know what's wrong with me. And here we go.
But that's exactly why I'm working with Dr. Anya. I'm going to fill you all in on my journey along the way
Oh,
because,
God. That's
I
a scary
think-
journey.
but for me, it's worth coming out of pocket to do this because I need to find some answers.
Yeah,
But
but
I-
just like, yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. So she has all the exams and they come back. Let's take the worst case scenario. There isn't a vitamin, a mineral, or anything, vitamin in her. She has none. How do you replenish? How does the body replenish these things that are missing?
Yeah.
And the crux of this question is, if the body is not taking it in now, how do you change its course to take it in and keep it in permanently?
Sure. So there's few things to that answer. First of all, we want to make sure that she's getting enough in. So first thing that I like to focus on is food, obviously. So when we get those results, we actually have step-by-step instructions like which foods have specific minerals, vitamins. So she will need to include those in her diet, and we
Right.
will create individualized nutrition plan for that. So food is first, but then unfortunately, if somebody is really deficient, they cannot fulfill that just with food. So we will need to do supplementation, high quality, usually plant-based, natural supplements. And you do that for a little while till your deficiency improves, and then you could continue with food. But also the next step to see is there a problem about actually receiving the nutrient, or is the problem about digesting it and incorporating it into the body? Because that could also be an issue. We have a lot of people with inflammation in their digestive system, what we call leaky gut. So that needs to be fixed as well in order for the nutrients to actually be able to get into us.
I got a lot of work ahead of me.
Well, the bottom line is that you're finding a solution to whatever ails you. You look at Dawn, and everybody that walks in here says, Dawn, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Your weight is fine. You could be in front of a camera, whether you're 53, 23, or 36. You know your business, and you're good at it, and you look fantastic. And the funny thing about people is that sometimes you can't tell on the outside what's going on the inside. There's a lot of things going on.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Chronic issues that are really people suffering for years with pain, headaches, digestive issues. Those are silent. Nobody else could see them. They just see a person just like Dawn, looking good, beautiful, and they assume there's nothing wrong with them.
But like I say always, we talk the talk, I got to walk the walk, and now it's getting me into better health because, that oxygen mask theory, when mom's good, the whole house is good.
Yeah, but you've always been into health, you work out 3, 4, maybe 5 times a week, and with the virus now you're working more out at home.
But it's different, hormones change when you get older, stress levels change. This whole situation we've been in over a year has changed everybody, no matter how you look at it. Even if you haven't had it and it hasn't affected your loved one or someone you know, something has changed. It's an overall feeling with the planet, yes, the planet, finances, friends, just something has changed, and everyone's a little more stressed and agitated, and they don't know why. So I'm hoping that some of this comes out. Maybe it's food, maybe it's different
You're
minerals.
more agitated now?
Yeah. Can't you tell?
More stress?
Yes.
I think we can all tell.
And stress, what does stress do? We don't even know that, but stress actually burns through our resources, our vitamins. For example, B vitamins, they're first to go when we're stressed out because our body is using them so much quicker to replenish. Same thing with vitamin C, antioxidants. If we're stressed, they get burned up, they get used up really, really quickly. And nobody ever thinks about that, talks about that.
But I'm interested that we can do this with food, because how amazing would it be if I'm low in vitamin C that I can do this with food? Food's high in vitamin C or iron or potassium, magnesium, maybe more leafy greens, things like that that I know are good for you.
Food is medicine.
Food is medicine. It's a matter of figuring out which foods instead of just picking.
It's really funny because in my world, food tastes good to me is all I really care about. I don't look at it that way. I try not to stem out because, as you can tell,
sounding like me?
Well, as you can tell, when people come, everybody has this craziness going on about themselves right now. Everybody's a little bit off or wacky. But the bottom line here is that I don't even look at it that way. Like you said, you're not going to get up, cameras are falling, lights are falling. I've seen that already. I took out a $650 camera by myself.
Yeah, I know.
I seen it. And they ain't going to bring it back. And I'm not going to worry about it. And you know what? I got to find another way. That's all. That's the way I see it. You, a little bit different. You have a little more. It's funny because when I first met you, you weren't strung out. You weren't stressing. You weren't doing none of that.
I didn't have all of this.
But then look at it as positive.
I do.
Slick is always calling me half empty. I think you are now going to incorporate that.
This is all positive, but with all of these positive moments comes tripping over a TV. Or after he trips over the TV, he trips over that. I've got them setting. This is like having 10 children. And even though you love every single child the same, you feel hurt when they get hurt. Then my son texts me, he's having an off day. He's going to be fine. But all these things add to all 5'0" of me into my body and stress. Cortisol levels, did we check for that too?
No, not this time. So that's what I wanted to mention actually, because the program that I was suggesting and that we could be working on in the future is so much bigger. But just like you're comfortable with doing step by step, most people are like that too. They don't want to do 10 tests all at once, even though those would be amazing. You take it step by step.
Can you do that?
You could do that.
You see, that's a me thing. I have to do 100 tests. I don't want to go a second time.
Yeah.
Get it all done. Pick an artery.
Yeah.
Forget about the vein. And get it all done. That would drive me nuts.
People get divided into two types. Some of them, they just want to get it over with and get it done. And it's not all blood testing. Some of them is, urine and stool and hair and all of that.
I'm all in.
And some people want to do it step by step. 3 months later, do another one. 2 months later.
No, get 3 months later. No, I mean, it ain't going.
See, but then I would throw everything in at once, and I would get all confused. So
I
for me, I'm
wouldn't
ready
do
to
it.
start slowly. You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it. 3 months later, take a doo-doo now. I got to go, Doc. Let's do it now. Let's do this. Because I can't. When I was suffering in diabetes, I had to go to the doctor every week. And Dr. Hare, and I said, Doc, don't take this the wrong way, but I don't want to ever see you again. He says, yeah, Mr. Fredico, you're coming tomorrow. I was like, wow. And they were poking me and then poking me and poking me and poking me some more. I'm into a lot of things. Being poked ain't one of them. So I want to get this over with. The other side of this thing is when you sit there and the doc says, okay, this is what I see. And the dance begins. Because now, when I walked in, I was feeling pretty good. Now doc says, like when I went and I had all those 21 deficiencies. Remember that with Merlin. And I sat there. You were there. Gia was there. And I sat there. And my eyes got this big. What does that mean, 21 deficiencies? Don't worry, we're going to fix it. Well, you get all this bad news. I mean, I was living like a gym rat. I was living like a street rat. I would eat everything. I would eat a box of donuts without a problem. Remember that? At iHeart?
Those used to be the days.
All gone.
But what's interesting, it's more, to see you is more than just weight loss. Because anyone can go on a weight loss program. But you can find a weight loss program. But working with you is different. It's a holistic approach to better health.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with weight loss, there's so many different approaches. You could start taking pills, and yes, you're going to lose some weight, but you're not going to sleep. You're going to be anxious, and after you stop the pills, you're going to gain it all back and more. Or you could start drinking shakes, and now what? You're going to have to drink those types of shakes for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you don't know what to do without them. Or you could really take the time, and that's what we do, to teach and learn and re-educate of how to really do it step by step and take tiny little actions towards the right direction so that they accumulate. And after a year, you actually know what to do. Now you're not panicking when you're going out. I can't eat anything? What? Now you know what you could pick. Now you know what you need to cook or what you need to buy.
What I like about Doc is you're able to talk, it's really important, and I wish I can drive it home. I wish I knew this 30 years ago. It isn't the diet, it's how you get your body to diet, the absorption. Do you know that my absorption level from meat is different from yours?
Sure.
My chicken absorption is different from yours, from Slick. You know how they say, you got a fast metabolism? That's working on some people, like him, not on me. So you have to change your perspective on losing weight, doing it healthy, doing it to somebody you go and say, Doc, I had popcorn. It didn't go too well for me, on the weight, but it's not absorbing. And there are certain foods that your body, I think it has something to do also with the type of blood that you are, A, B, C, the letters?
There's different philosophies in that. We do food sensitivity testing. Which is quick, just a finger prick. And you just said 2 vials. This is like literally 4 drops of blood. It's nothing. And it gives you a printout of all the foods that your body is actually reacting sensitively to. And it's amazing. It's always like shocking to people because things that they're eating, that's actually causing them to not feel well. But then it's not a kind of life sentence. From now on, you can't have those foods forever. What that means to us is now we have to take the time to heal the lining of your digestive system to really help the absorption.
That's right.
To decrease the sensitivity, and then you could reintroduce those foods little by little. And I've seen that happen, and it's beautiful.
And it's an amazing thing to be able to speak to somebody who actually understands the word you're saying. And this is why I know that she's a godsend for you. Because for your whole life, people were telling you, first of all, Dawn doesn't like hot food. She likes cold food. True? She likes to eat with her fingers. There's a reason why she likes to eat with her fingers. But it's a scientific reason. The texture in your hand is different than on a plate, than on a fork. And scientifically, if you do the research, it's there. There's so many things going on with how you drink, how you swallow, how you eat, how you pick up your food, how you digest it. All of it is there. And if you want to live a healthy life, it's more than just diet. There's a whole science to this thing. So this is why it's nice to see it. When she comes in, you light up.
Well, you saw last Thursday night after your show, we sat and we talked until the whole other show was over. Because it's not just food, and it's not just taking a pill. You offer so much more. So explain your whole program, what you offer to people.
Sure. And Total Holistic Center approach is, I call it 360. So when you look at a person, a human being, we're not just sum of body parts. So we don't just have a stomach and a foot and a brain. it's all connected. And also, we're human beings, which means we have emotions, and we have our lifestyle, and we have our psychology, and we have our habits and the way that we're used to doing things. And all that is combined, and all that correlates together. But when we go to, regular approach of medicine, we kind of get split up into parts, and psychology is separate. You go this way, and digestion is this way. But what if your stressing out is causing your digestive issues? Nobody ever puts those things together.
That's right.
And what you just said, Freddie, was about individualized approach to person, because we're all so different. No person is the same. So why do we need to give the same medication to everybody without looking at what else is going on in their life, and how are they doing things, and how they like to do things, and how their own body is reacting? So we have a individualized approach. We create protocols for each person, but also we look at all those issues, and we have coaching, which is what Dawn is referring to. So we work through the mindset, the emotions. Are there certain needs that you're not meeting in your life, and that's going to affect you, because then your stress level is constantly high, and that means that your health is not going to be good if you're constantly stressed out.
It's interesting because professional sports hire people like you, and they talk to each individual player at each individual time. Every player is given a specific diet to follow, because some people can't tolerate carbs. Inflammation, let me tell you, inflammation, I have learned, is the number one biggest problem there is. Because it stops you from getting better, it hurts, it's this, it's that, sugar, the whole night, right? Certain times we eat certain things that increase your inflammation, you're not realizing it. So somebody told me, every time when you wake up in the morning, Freddie, or you're walking to the bathroom, I want you to open and close your hands, right? So when this, I used to be able to go like this. Now I'm able to do this, right? This one hurts more than this one. Now, Doc, you correct me if I'm wrong. This hand controls this side of my body. This
When you do that now, your hands hurt?
This one does, not this one.
Interesting.
This one controls this side. This is what I was told. I don't know if it's real, but I get up every morning now, and this is what I do. Because I want to see if what I ate the day before was the wrong thing to eat in terms of inflammation. Same thing with my knees, same thing with the joints. And what's happening is that I've decreased my food, that I inflame my body, eating the things I shouldn't be eating.
You're 100% correct. The only thing about that I would add is that the food sensitivities sometimes last longer, 24 to 36 to 48 hours. So it's very hard sometimes to pinpoint what exactly that was. One way is those really difficult elimination diets that really could pinpoint what it is that you're sensitive to. But the easier way is that test.
Just to do the test.
Yeah, so that way you could just see it in black and white. You stop guessing. You stop stressing out about it.
No, it's not.
What did I eat?
No, it's not even stressing. I went vegan for 6 months because somebody challenged me to do this thing. And there were times, Doc, I couldn't get out of bed. Tying my shoes, bending over was it was an interesting drama. I can do all that now because I've cut back on meats. I've cut back on the chicken. I've cut back on things that were creating inflammation in my body. And I've gone to smaller portions that taste better than bigger portions that just filling me up and making me walk around like a robot. So you're right, the test is easier. But in my life, things change from one day to the next. You see, sometimes I have to work till 10 o'clock at night. That is not the appropriate time for my body, me, to eat. Because it takes me longer to digest the food and it inflames in the whole night. So I wake up, I can't even open and close my hands.
Tracy's watching from Healing Moments. She says her total philosophy. But what I love so much about it, and it's not a quick pill that you're going to feel better. So I was telling my mom last night, Mom, I really can't sleep. So she goes, you should take this, this, and this. You can buy at the drugstore. I go, I can't take that because then I can't get up in the morning to go to work. She says, well, I take it every night for years. I go, what time did you wake up? She goes, 11, 1, 2. I love you, Mom, but I can't. And I don't like that feeling. So it's going to take me a little bit longer. But eventually we all get to the point and we say, I got to do what's right for me. But the whole psychological aspect of it doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means you've got stressors in your life that you need to work through. And I think we mostly all know what our triggers are. We know what'll trigger us most, whether it's finance, whether it's your partner, whether it's your kids, or a combination. We go, yeah, that's going to be a trigger, and it's always going to be there, but now how do we deal with it? And you help with that too.
Yeah, the stresses are always going to be there. This is part of us being human, but how do we respond to that? That's a skill that nobody teaches. I wish we would be taught that in schools, because there are actually tools that you could use for, I call it emotional fitness, really be able to control the way you're reacting and actually creating emotion in your body. Like, for example, just quick little example with you. If you guys are sitting and you're just relaxed and comfortable and, just slouched forward, like how are you going to feel? Try it out if you guys are watching us. Just slouch forward, head down, shoulders down, and just notice how you feel. Right? Like how motivated are you? How happy are you? How joyful. And now do this. Sit straight, shoulders back, head up, start taking deep breath. Put a smile on your face. How are you feeling now? Is there a shift in how you're feeling and what you're going to do when you're feeling like that? So that's just a tiny example of being able to have emotional fitness and being able to control how we're reacting, what we're doing. There's so many different tools like that.
Emotional fitness, I love that.
There's so many things. And the food sensitivities I find are interesting also. I did that biomeridian. Remember Kim came in and she did the food sensitivities with me? And certain ones were vegetables. I mean, silly things. Tomatoes and onions. I don't really eat onions, so I guess that makes sense. I love tomatoes. So since I'm on this new healthy kick, I've been eating the little pint, the grape tomatoes, which I love. And ever since then, my stomach has been like a freaking mess for the past 3 days.
But they told you not to eat them.
Well,
so you go and you eat them?
I go and I eat them because I think maybe they're wrong.
But that's the thing. It's not that you need to stop eating them forever. A lot of places, and that's what drives me nuts a little bit, is that a lot of places offer these food sensitivity tests, but then they don't actually offer the treatment protocol to follow them, because there is a way to treat your digestive system, your leaky gut, so that it doesn't react sensitively to tomatoes anymore. You don't have to stop eating them forever. Just now we have to focus on putting you on what I use, herbal protocols and supplement protocols to heal that digestive life.
So little by little.
And I wanted to ask, I read a report that the skin on certain fruits and vegetables, the skin, sometimes is the difference between tolerating it and not tolerating it. Having a skinless apple is not the same thing as having an apple with skin. Is that true?
It is true, but why is it true right now mostly? Is because unfortunately the way our produce is grown, skin actually has more in there, the pesticides, the chemicals, the toxins that they're spraying, that it keeps most of it in.
So
and that's why people are reacting. And the same thing that you said earlier about chicken and meat and causing inflammation, that's also a big deal, because the industry that creates right now meat products, poultry products, they feed them toxic foods, feed those animals, they put antibiotics, they put hormones in there, and those things cause inflammation. If you go and you find fresh, farm, pasture-raised, clean products, clean poultry and clean meats, your body is not going to react the same way. It's actually not going to be reacting inflammatory.
That's interesting.
So it's about also pointing out the quality of food and where you get the food.
Interesting. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I don't know how late you can stay.
I'm going to have to run, so thank you so much.
Tell people how they can find you.
You could find us at totalholisticcenter.com, and you could call us for a free consultation, 561-323-4994. Thank you so much for having me.
She reminds me of the Doctor's Inn Snoopy character.
Yep, you'll be able to follow my journey as well. I'm going to fill you in how things roll out.
That's right. I highly advise, it's a new year, get it done. Speak to her. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to her, and I think you'll be happily surprised.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, Slick.
Are your health issues stopping you from living the life you've imagined? Are you unable to do the things you want to do due to chronic pain or chronic health issues? Have you seen many doctors taken multiple medications but are still suffering? Or are you simply looking for ways to boost your immune system and live a long and healthy life? Total Holistic Center is the solution you've been looking for. We provide you with out-of-the-box, cutting-edge scientific technologies for true health, wellness, and anti-aging via phone, in-person, or virtual video consultations. Some of our services include total wellness consultations, where we dig deeper into underlying root causes of chronic health issues, and personalized 360 wellness protocols customized specifically just for you based on your individualized biomarkers. Visit us at www.totalholisticcenter.com or call us at 561-323-4994.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
Amp Media Productions and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They've been working around the clock nonstop to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it's never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hello again, and this episode is brought to you by Bubba Rum. Is that what I said? Either way, but this Boston-based Bay distillery makes primo rum. So this is proof that just because it comes from the north doesn't mean it doesn't taste like it's made from the Caribbean. So just remember, Gubba rum, wicked smooth. Back to Don and Freddie S.
Only in the world of Hector.
You gotta love Hector.
Only in the world of Hector does that come off in your laugh.
You're hilarious.
Listen, I wanted to talk real quick. There's a few things that we have to hit on, but I wanted to talk about the painting behind me, which is not a painting.
It isn't, it isn't.
It's actually a work of art made in wire.
Yes.
But it has a painting behind it, so it isn't is correct. And I also want to welcome the newest member of the family. So this is little Gio. And who's that over there?
We have to do a wider camera shot on that one.
Let's put a camera on too, so we can bring in.
I'm going to get slick
What
some
would
shoes
you
that
like
fit.
to call our newest member over there?
He's laughing. Does he have a face too?
Yes, he's playing the guitar. Go to 2.
Juan Valdez.
What?
Juan Valdez.
Is that what you want to call it? Let's just tighten up on it,
I don't know.
Slick. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
No, he's just got to see from my angle. It looks like he's got a mask
going.
on, but but I'm seeing the guitar as his face. But
Yes.
that way I see it.
Juan Valdez, is that the new one? And it's funny because we were talking a little bit about Max and his pieces. He's actually going to be in Las Olas next month. He put a beautiful booth together. And he would like us to go out and take some pictures and do an interview for him and everything else, make some lights, make some noise. And he talks about how these little mounts are really cute in any office.
He has littler ones, he said.
He has smaller ones. Yes, I didn't realize that he has even miniature ones. But these are all for a good cause. It's for Hugs and Smiles, where a portion of the proceeds are going to Hugs and Smiles. And he brought this one in today because he thought that Gio would not be here, but Gio's coming to pick up Gio. That's the part of the surprise. I hope he's not watching. And then that one will become part of over here. But these are really nice pieces, and this piece behind me is outstanding. And then something about the Tree of Life he was talking to you about?
Well, there's a lot of things. The picture behind you actually is kind of serendipitous because we are going to our full moon this weekend, and that's a full moon behind you. So people who are feeling a little bit wonky, funky, the energy, it's out there. We're going to a full moon, and we're going to Mercury retrograde on the 30th. So,
Again?
yeah, so in about 3 days, you got a full moon, you got Mercury retrograde. You wonder why the internet's out, why people are feeling the way they're feeling. That is why. So as I always say, buckle up, hold tight. It's going to be fine. We just have a little bumpiness along the road. The Tree of Life I spoke to Max about. He's going to create a smaller version of the Tree of Life for personalization because that's kind of big. That one?
That one?
That one. So he's going to make it a little bit smaller, and on the limbs, you can put people's names on it and family names. He's going to do a sample so you can see what that looks like.
How in the world are you going to do that?
I don't know, but he said he's working on that.
And
so.
there is that's a palm tree.
So
It's
he's
really
working on
interesting the way Max does the things and the way
He's such a nice guy.
he goes about his business. And he has a showroom down in South Miami,
Yeah.
South Beach. He comes all the way up here from South Beach. I didn't even realize that.
Yep, he comes up on Wednesdays. I wish he would stay a little bit longer so
Well,
we
he
could
had
keep
an
him on set.
appointment. He said he's going to try to come tomorrow. Well, what a down-to-earth guy, and he talks about a lot of different things, and he's been around, and some of his pieces are just breathtaking, I got to tell you.
But he is a great guy. We've got a lot of things. Hector, I think we've got Hector doing his cheesecake portion.
Where's the cheesecakes?
And Vinny, I want to cue up This Day in History that Blake put together. It's a segment that one of our interns from FAU has put together for This Day in History. Have you seen it?
I did see it. And I'm going to tell you, it's pretty good stuff. It's about joining the climate control agreement and
Really?
why. Yeah, something like that.
All right. So, Vinny, if you have that queued up, let's roll that out.
After nearly 8 years of fighting and more than 4 years of negotiations, much of them in secret, talks in Paris finally yielded results. Late in 1972, the North Vietnamese government officially agreed to the terms of the Paris Peace Accords. There would be an immediate ceasefire. Armies from both countries would hold their positions. U.S. troops would withdraw in 60 days, and the South Vietnamese government would start negotiations with the Viet Cong for free and democratic elections with the eventual goal of reunifying Vietnam.
And I saw on the news territory that I've seen people die to obtain for the United States so the VC don't get it, now being turned over to the VC by our government. And that was very disheartening. That was kind of a low shot to the gut, if you will, in seeing those things.
South Vietnamese troops were given control of their own fate. On January 28, 1973, withdrawal of U.S. combat troops began, and by March, all but advisors and Marine Guards returned to America.
And we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. That was awesome. That Day in History was put together by Blake Losey, one of our interns from FAU. While you're checking your emails, Hector, the animator, has a new segment coming out on Saturday. This is cheesecake. Look at these lovely, beautiful cheesecakes created by Hector.
I know. Hey, I'm going to tell you, this guy's a good cook.
We're going to learn to make these on Saturdays. You want to grab a mic, Hector, and tell us what they are?
He has one.
You said it yourself, they're cheesecakes.
What kind of cheesecake?
Small ones.
Regular cheesecake, Hector?
Well, it's using a new recipe for New York style cheesecake. And I figure that
Wow.
going off the recipe that everyone's New Year's resolution of not eating near as much sweets. So I figured, why not just make smaller ones to share with everybody else? But unfortunately, it seems everyone in the studio, even a small amount of cheesecake is too much cheesecake.
I got to tell you, that is absolutely delicious. There's a graham cracker crust
Yep.
and a little bit, was that raspberry? It's
Ras-
kind of Thanksgiving-ish tasting.
Mixture of raspberry and dark chocolate for topping.
Oh my gosh.
You know, that's 4 points a bite.
All right, so that was my
yeah.
4 points.
What do you think I made? Well, what do you think I made small? Why do you think I made small ones?
No,
So you got to take a bite.
I think it's fantastic.
See if the kids want any. Syracuse wants some. Oh my God, Hector, that is absolutely, I forgot a napkin. Delicious.
Either way, tune in this Saturday morning to see how to make your own little.
Are they
small-
hard to make? Tune in
Not
on
necessarily.
Saturday.
Not necessarily.
That's absolutely the graham cracker. I think that's one of my most favorite things you've made. That was delicious. All in a bite, the perfect bite.
And he makes it look easy when he does his thing, because I watch his show every Saturday. You got some really nice things going on Saturday. I to watch Hector and Reggie Vero and Capes and everything else. And you're adding some parts, right?
We have a new show coming back out. We started last week called What Makes You Laugh with Cash
Mr.
Money.
Cash.
Mr. Cash.
Yeah.
Cash Peep. Summer Peep's son, Cash. So they'll be in tomorrow. He's going to record his show for Saturday.
And
I don't
what
know
else
who he
do
has
you
coming
got
on.
going?
We've got the Teenpreneur Show, and Dia Coley. We're going to be interviewing her on Friday
You got
because
one
they're
more?
off of school.
Yeah, one more.
We play Jay Harmon, Amy Reshevsky,
Another one.
and we have a book author coming in tomorrow,
Ah,
Susan Chapman.
who's going to be reading children's books?
We need Vinny before his candles burn down.
Vinny, we need you out on board.
100%.
I've been stalling here, and they still haven't brought out the Vincinator.
We haven't brought out the birthday boy. Who's running?
Where's the
who's board?
Vincinator?
You should have heard what you just said just now.
What'd he
Why?
say?
He's like, oh no, I don't want cheesecake. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, okay, I'm gonna do the cheesecake.
Where's your hat?
All right, hold on.
Hurry up! The candles are making a hole in the ceiling.
Yeah, relax, Vinny. I told him this. He's not listening to me.
The Vincinator.
Having our studio is like having a whole lot of kids.
You got to get somebody on the board so that we can get to camera 3.
Teddy's on the board. Maybe you should stop going that
Okay,
way.
maybe I want you not to go that way no more.
No, I just wanted to fix something.
He's gonna
you
fix
keep
something, you gotta
breaking
make
things
sure the
before you
wire's
fix
in.
things.
Can make me wear a hat?
Yeah, you got to wear the hat because we have to embarrass you. We want you to do the belly dance. Where's his microphone?
Right here, A4.
You're frozen, Slick. You got to put the wire in. That's why you got to stop moving the
That's why
camera.
you got to stop touching the camera.
That is a great picture, Chenzo, is all I can say.
Holy smokes. Turn some light on him, Slick.
So how old are you, Vinny?
27.
You were 25 this morning.
Thanks. Hey, 27 is new 25. Am I right, guys?
You say you were 25. How old
Make sure
are
you
you?
subtract.
There you go,
I mean,
that's
if you
good.
add 2, it is.
I'm 25 and now I'm kidding. I'm 27.
Which is the real deal? 27?
Yep.
Wow, you an old man.
Thanks, right?
He and Slick are the same age.
And he's growing a mustache. Did you see the
That's
lady?
saw
why
that.
I'm shaving it off. I don't like the facial hair.
He has a mustache on there. I was rubbing it. I thought he had dirt.
You rubbing his face?
I
How'd
was
that go
taking
for
it
you?
off with a napkin. I thought he had dirt. And it's a mustache, right?
All right, so should we sing happy birthday to Chenzo?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right,
This
Slick.
ain't going to be too good.
Slick, let's do the debut.
Oh, there you go. So people can actually hear Slick sing.
Acapella?
Yes.
Something, Paula.
Slick.
Oh. I'm going to give you the beat. I'm going to give you the beat.
I don't have a beat, but we're gonna sing happy birthday, guys. So,
Hold on. Somebody's walking in.
who is it?
It's got to be Amy
I don't know.
or Robin. Robin.
Oh, Robin, come. We're going to sing
Robin,
happy
you
birthday.
are right on time, Robin. We're gonna sing happy birthday to Mr. Vinny Vincenzo
The
Alves.
Vincinator.
27.
27.
You had to add them
All
up
right,
and
the
divide by
candles
2.
are burning, so you ready? Slick, you got to stop
Happy
going back there.
birthday to you. Cha cha cha.
Happy
Happy birthday to
To you.
Happy birthday. The candles are, yeah, dear Vinny.
Happy birthday to you.
Don't blow out the candles that way. You gotta use your hands or a plate or something.
Or do the Hector clap.
Because the candles are burning. Yes. Happy birthday.
One more. There you go.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Happy
You saw
birthday,
that?
Chenzo. Nice job.
Thank you.
So what's your birthday wish?
What's your birthday wish?
You have a wish for your birthday?
No, I Dream a Genie is not available now.
Why you gotta do that to me, Freddie?
Don't worry, she's coming in on Friday. I Dream a Genie.
Really?
Yeah. She comes by a different name.
Yeah,
If you're here on
Slick's
Friday.
wife.
Skydiving.
Slick's wife.
It's coming on Friday.
Nice.
Slick's wife, I wish.
But anyway, I wish for skydiving. That would be so fun.
Really?
Well,
You
I
wanna
want
do it?
I want to skydive and sing the song "Free Falling" while I do it.
I got a guy who has a plane down in the JU's. I can have that. Make a phone call and have you on a plane jumping out.
Free falling.
He's gonna go up there and change his mind.
Oh no,
'Cause everything's
I'll
about
go
this
up there
big.
and I'll go up there to go up there.
You go with him? They can tie you guys
Yeah.
together and jump out of a
Yeah.
plane. Nobody
But
will miss
I
you.
wouldn't do my own parachute though.
Yeah.
I'll probably be the baby.
You want to be like tandem to somebody?
Tandem. I'll be tandem skydiving.
Wait, should I say
I
free falling
would-
or?
I wouldn't do that for all the tea in China. Me coming down, there'll be raining and it won't be pretty.
All right, ready to cut up your cake? Let's take a commercial break. We're going to
All
have
right.
Robin join us because she
Yes.
is the guest on Art of Amy Reshevsky. Coming up at 3 o'clock. She came a little bit early to hang with us at Amy's shows at 2:30.
The Blingamator.
And then we roll right into our Manchester studios at 1:30 with Tony McKenzie. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke? If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial Providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial Providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
I'm beautiful just the way I am. I'm beautiful just the way I am. And I'm radiating love, attracting all the good that I can. Oh, I'm beautiful just the way I am.
Musaf is a music subscription app combining affirmations and meditations. The mixing of music and positive affirmations will take you on a positive journey towards healing. Download your app today, available on iPhone or Android, or contact Leslie Carmen at 561-405-9577. Musaf, that's MUSAFF, on Apple or Android.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back. No more segments. Okay. Were you going to do a segment for us, Slick?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Happy birthday, Vinny. All right. Enjoy your chocolate cake. When we come back, you'll do the next one.
Oh, no, when we go into the
What you got cooking? Oh.
I brought my starter kit and I brought my starter kit.
All right. Have a seat. We'll talk about your starter kit and your starter kit.
So you brought your starter kits.
I also brought...
And there's a bag for you by that other chair that Summer left for you. People now leave things here for Robin to bling.
Really?
There's a white bag down there for you. They drop things off. Yes, bring to bling.
Oh, that is from Summer, right?
Yes.
Okay, she wanted me to bring a couple things out of it.
She's so happy, Robin, all the time.
They call you Captain Contagious.
So I'm up to 400.
You gotta use your mic. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Robin. How are you doing?
Do I know what's happening?
Hi.
Robin Weiss is here, our rhinestone queen.
Yes, I was so busy talking to you guys.
I
How's it going?
joined your organization piece.
What?
I'm part of that 420. I joined.
Well, oh, you did? Okay, great. My Facebook group, yes, Real Housewives of Bling. I started a group about 5 weeks ago, and we're up past 425, and it's going strong. And I go every morning live. I give tips, tricks, and for the craft. And I brought my starter kit, so I've been kind of like selling these and doing virtual lessons, and it's been going real good.
Now,
It's amazing.
the starter kit, when somebody buys the starter kit, what's in it?
Okay, well, that's why I kind of brought it, because I didn't want to forget while I was. So in the starter kit comes all the necessary tools you need to start rhinestone crafting, applying rhinestones to many different surfaces, and mostly this kit will get you to artist level as well. So it's a starter kit, meaning my goal is to make you as independent as possible so you can go out and buy the supplies and save as much money as possible, because that's another goal, is to save you money in this craft. But this is just to get you started, and it has 3 different packages of different sized rhinestones. It has a cuticle nipper, it has magnifying glasses, it has the glue, it has the tray, and most of all it has the perfect pickup stick, which I invented, and it's absolutely fabulous, and you get 2 of those actually in the kit. And it's a great kit, and I do virtual lessons, and if And if you join the group, then you can get all the help you need for free.
Now, when you have the initial how to learn to put the stuff in certain places, and once you get advanced and you need to order more stones because you have different projects, if you're looking at something to do and you want ideas, do you work one-on-one with people if they want to get an
I'm really happy you asked me about that, Freddie, because my whole goal is to work with each individual according to where they are at in this craft, if they've started, if they're interested in it, many people have come to my group and they said, how do I get started? So what I do is I set up a free consult on the phone. I see where they're at, whatever supplies they might have from 30 years ago, and I put them all together, and I see what their goals are and what they want to get out of the craft. And then from there, I help them build their rhinestone studio. I do provide every single tool that there is, including my own line of rhinestones. But my goal really is to get people to be independent, and I tell them many other places they can go to get rhinestones as well.
That's interesting because also you can add other little trinkets to the rhinestones that enhances that as well, like you did with the painting here.
Which is great. You're going to talk about that painting today with Amy?
Yes, Amy invited me to be on her show. I'm super excited, and thank you guys for letting me be on yours as well.
We love having you.
Thank you. I love being here. You know that.
And you're always happy. I got to tell you, if you're ever having a sad day, just tune into Robin. Because you're always happy, you love what you do,
I
and
do.
then at the end of it, you have some more bling and some more rhinestone art, which is spectacular.
Exactly. Like you have something to show for it, and the main thing is I call this sparkle therapy, because it really is my therapy, and
I
it's
like
a
that.
positive energy that, we all have very busy lives. It's very hard to craft and do the things we love. The great thing about this craft is you could take 15 minutes of your time a day, and it will actually really increase your endorphins. It just feels great. Once you get started and you tackle the tools and you tackle the techniques, and I'm here to help you. I take everyone under my wing. I have 5 phone consults set up tomorrow alone. So I do all these while I'm crafting and bring for your guys' showcase that I have here.
The showcase is spectacular.
Thank you.
And I love the way you collaborate with, you and Amy, I guess, are long-lost sisters now, she tells us.
Anyone who, I help with this craft is my bling sister, I call them. We call them bling sisters. So we have a lot of really fun terms. It's kind of like a pop culture, really, if you really want to be honest. I mean, it's got terms. Rhinestones have been around forever. We just no one has figured out how to apply them in a way to create a craft with them. So that's what I've done. And I have the greatest tools, and they're so easy. The most amazing thing is that I travel with my tools. So at the dollar store, if you get this little crossbody bag, you can put your whole starter kit, including your
You got that whole bag at the dollar store?
Yeah, I got this at the dollar store. And my goal is to show people that anybody can afford to apply rhinestones. This is not a wealthy person's craft anymore. Swarovski is no longer making rhinestones soon, so we have to turn to glass, which are absolutely magnificent. They've come a long way. But the whole goal is just to inspire and help people out there, and people who are already doing this craft. Many people have told me, they're getting over a loved one, or just the stories that I hear and how this craft lifts people up is just my validation of what I've already known for the past 12 years.
It's remarkable. And I love
Thank you.
all the projects that people post. I was looking at the coffee mugs, and they said they did the names, and then you told them how to go back in and reapply on top of it. You offer
How to fix
so
a
much
mistake.
help.
Yeah. I have to be specific, and what I did was I created a way to teach this craft in a very black and white way. Very specific, the techniques, everything is a perfect science. So my virtual lesson is incredible. Like, I can get you crafting in an hour. But if you want to come to the group, that's where there's no other place, honestly, that I've seen, at least in English, that will ever teach you how to crack the codes to this art, to rhinestone art. Because people feel, if they give their secrets, that you might copy them. I don't feel that way. I feel the more growth, the better you're going to get. And so that's how I founded the group, on, lifting others up.
Slick. Israel's here.
It's interesting because the therapy, when you do this, it teaches
You need an outlet.
Well, it teaches you patience. It lets you plug into your creativity. And when you finish doing the end product, you sort of feel pretty good about yourself, you know. And that's what I like about watching Robin, because if you come to just look at the casing and everything she's put in there, you feel good. You say, you know something? I did this. You know, it's no different than the whole room when you look around and says, boy, I put 5-6 years into this thing, and I sort of like the way it feels. And that's what it does.
Like how, like this piece, Robin.
Well, that is actually 100% authentic Swarovski crystals, and so it really stands out. And the 3D butterflies have flat backs. So anything with a flat back is called, like, you can rhinestone craft with anything with a flat back. It doesn't have to be a rhinestone per se. And I do videos every morning in the group live. I talk about, you know, rhinestone trim. I talked about this morning how you can just craft with the trim alone and cover things with trim, how to get started. I mean, if you just know how to get started, that's all you really need to know. And there's really no place to go but my group. No place probably anywhere, I hate to say in the world, but it's looking like, you know, I've been on Instagram for 7 years, and I've done a lot of research in this craft, and extremely hard to find, very hard to find help with this craft.
But the starter kit is amazing. It's 125, 20% off?
It is 20% off until the end of this month.
All right, so you got a couple more days to get in on that deal.
Yes, and I've sold quite a few, and they're actually amazing. And then in addition to the starter kit, if anything you need, you know, of course, the consult's always good, because then I can assess where you're at and what you want to do. And you might not need the whole starter kit. Maybe you just need my pickup stick. Maybe, you know, I can tell you where to get a couple of the other tools. I have no problem helping anybody. As long as they want to start crafting, I will help them no matter what it takes.
What's the first project you should start with? Something small. I know you told me my vase was too big.
Well, you want to start with something like the most popular thing to cover, even though there's 4 categories to rhinestone art, is cups and shoes. The most popular 2 categories. Then you have sculpture art and you have flat art, which is what I'm going to be doing with Amy, because she's a regular artist, I'll call her. You know, she paints. So that's flat art. Anytime you apply rhinestones to something flat. And you can also apply 3D rhinestones to something flat. People don't know about that. There's just numerous ways.
What are 3D rhinestones compared to regular rhinestones?
Well, that would be called a chaton, and it has a pointed back, like the diamond in your engagement ring. So they have those plentiful on Swarovski on eBay. I tell people where to find them. They've been held up in a warehouse in Delaware for 50 years. I just got a package yesterday. The paper was like brown and it smelled, but they were just in Swarovski, beautiful crystals like you wouldn't believe.
How do you get those to stand? Because they're not flat, so they got to.
Ways.
Wow.
There's a couple ways. You can support them with other rhinestones. Other rhinestones, you make a little fortress and you stick it right in the middle. Or you use the rhinestone trim and you make channels and little gaps and you fill up your glue and you pop them right in.
Now, you say you were working also on different glues.
Well, what comes with my kit is E6000 glue, which has a warning on it, and I only work with E6000. It also comes with a brush on. There's also 2 ways to perform the craft. There is a way where you have the glue syringe. I also forgot to tell you the kit comes with 10 curved tip dental glue syringes. When you continue crafting, you get these very easily on Amazon, very inexpensively. So the purpose is there's a manual way and then there's a brush on way. And with the brush on, the glue is flat, like flat sheet of ice. With the manual way, it's kind of like a floating wood floor, like a cushion, so the glue is much thicker. So right now I am experimenting with glue that I've never used, that's, you know, off the shelf, easy for people, affordable for people, to help my group find a thick, non-toxic glue that we can make sculptures with, because you're limited with the brush-on glue. You can mainly just do smooth surfaces. So the thicker glue allows you to go over bumps and ridges, and I also have in my kit a piece of sculpture art and flat art. So there's a lot of things in here that
the kit has expanded. That kit has grown.
The kit actually had all these things I just never remembered off the top of my head. The kit is the same.
That's a lot. That is fantastic.
It has a Starbucks sticker for flat art, so you can use things in the kit, or you can just do your own canvases. You certainly don't have to use mine.
Wow, that's amazing. So many great things.
You know, it's funny because when I was in the construction business, you know how a bay window goes round, it's round, and then it's flat, it's square on the bottom? In kitchens, we used to put them so you had a talk through, you know, to serve food. And I'm looking at what you're talking about. It's bringing these memories. You know, sheetrock does not bend. There's a certain way of doing it so that it bends.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that my father used to bring in that was an expert. And the difference between putting the crystals on a texture that has to bend, you may have to do it a certain way as
Certain
opposed
glue.
to flat art where you just put it on
Took
there.
the words right out of my mouth. You just totally reiterated what I was trying to say.
I
Thank you.
love that
Yeah.
because and I know how difficult putting that curve. Now, if you go to hallways and buildings in New York where these curves are there, we used to do all of that, but you had to be good at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it pops out.
Well, there's certainly more detail when you have all the nooks and the crannies. You know, luckily I was an acrylic nail artist before this, so I have a lot of experience, you know, molding and, you know, experiencing when the air hits a substance and how it reacts. So experimenting with the glue, for me, I can objectively tell everybody in the group, you know, what's the grabbability, what is the smell, is it non-toxic. So I go through like 11 different steps, and a lot of people who love their glue don't always like to hear that I'm not impressed with certain things about it. For some reason, in this craft, people are very protective over their tools, their supply, even their glue. It's crazy. I'm like, cut the umbilical cord. It's a substance that came from the earth. I'm trying to help you. But if it's their glue, they will protect their glue, and I'm just bringing the facts, and that's my job, and I'm going to continue doing it.
Protect the glue.
Protect my glue. Protect the reputation of my glue.
ProtectMyGlue.com.
And she
But
gives
we
you
will
an
find the right glue for everyone.
She gives you an opportunity to make a living at this. you know?
Absolutely. I teach you how to build a business from your home.
If I had known you when I was coaching in the day, there are awards that we used to hand out to kids for baseball. And I'm sitting here, and my mind is playing tricks on me. And you take a hard ball, a baseball, and you know it has red laces on it, and you glitter the laces on it. You put it on a wood plaque, and you glitter the kid's name on there, and
Very
you give out
popular.
an MVP award.
That's very cute. I
I
like
mean,
that.
and I'm just going over all the things in my life that I could have done this. Because you always wanted to give you ever notice a kid gets a trophy? Oh yeah, take a picture, and then I got 7,000 of them in my house. They don't even care anymore because it doesn't have their name, it's not glittered, it's not shiny.
What are you doing with them all?
I have them in a showcase because I'm very proud of them. And I told Freddie, "Do you want it for your son?" And no, I don't want them. It's ridiculous.
They're keepsakes. I call them
Exactly.
keepsakes. And when you take a keepsake, I've actually rhinestone many keepsakes, and you put rhinestones on it. It adds impact, you know, and it just enhances it. And that's why I love rhinestones. They're just a beautiful embellishment to, you know, sparkle, color with rhinestones, color with crystals. You know, there's so many different terms for it, but it's really rhinestone art, and rhinestone crafting is just the act.
I
You
love
make it look easy.
Legacy. You can live your legacy and things like that. I'm thinking of the whole different animal.
You want to rhinestone some of those trophies?
I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something with them because your stuff, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, but my parents are buried in a old cemetery, a new cemetery in Puerto Rico, and what they did was they cut their names into the stone, and that's it. And I can actually ask you for a waterproof glue, an outside glue,
Yeah.
and rhinestone their names inside the stone.
Okay.
And they're
Can't believe you
easier to
mentioned
find.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to find a gravesite when you have never been there? Good luck with that. And you go to the office, there's nobody ever there, ever in Puerto Rico, ever. So you got to sort of figure out where are they. But the way that the sun hits the stone, I think that during the day, if you use the right rhinestones, it'll glitter. So my mind is like traveling.
I see that. All right, let's take
I
a
could even reiterate on a story just about that alone.
I
Ah,
love
Amy's
that.
in the house. All right, we're good. Amy's situated also. Let's take a commercial break. I think we should have England on the line also. First, Love Yourself, Your Flight to Happiness with Tony McKenzie. So stay tuned, quick commercial break. We'll see you in a few.
I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
All right, this segment of the Brooklyn Cafe is brought to you by Lost Harbor Distilleries, and Lost Harbor Distilleries creates amazing magic called the Capastara, and Capastara is the best way, I would say, to have your hot chocolate or your coffee, but drink responsibly. Capastara. Now back to not Capastara. Why do I always keep saying Lost Harbor Distilleries? Woman owned, and summer's amazing. So I would say, like, from everything that she bottles them up by hand. So there's a love that goes behind Lost Harbor Distilleries. Now back to Don and Freddie.
You know, I think I'm going to have you sent for an evaluation, because holy smoke, that was the most confusing endorsement of commercial.
Star, I was supposed to say Lost Harbor.
I'm so lost.
Lost Harbor, Capastara. We've got a great commercial spot that we're going to play as well.
Most definitely.
Thanks to Summer Peak for having us up at Lost Harbor on Monday. We got to do a shoot. I don't know if Tony McKenzie's on, but when Tony comes on, let's bring her on over. All the way from Manchester studio, Tony McKenzie, author of Your Flight to Happiness. And we're going to get back into the tapping method of what this is, because she said we really didn't get a chance to tap into it. No pun intended, Vinny, but is she on?
She is.
There she is. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Dawn. How are you?
I am great. EFT, let's tap into it. What's happening over? Do you have any more light we can put on you?
Any more light? Is it a bit dark?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a bit dark.
It's a bit dark.
A bit dark.
Okay. If I go closer, is it better? Or I can we'll try the overhead light.
All right, turn on the overhead light, please. There you go. That's much better. Much better.
Yes.
Good.
Much better.
Right, okay.
She looks like that actress, man. I'm Italian.
Marlo Thomas, you say all the time.
Oh my God. Look at that, that's a spinning image.
Marlo Thomas.
Oh, I don't know her.
That girl.
That girl.
Is that a movie or a series?
TV show.
Her father created St. Jude hospitals
That's in the United States, so
in the United States, and it's over there too.
Okay.
Danny Thomas.
Danny Thomas.
No, don't know those names over here, I'm afraid.
Marlo Thomas, you got to check her out.
My
I
goodness.
will do. Marlo.
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 She sounds so great, right?
Yeah.
Spotted Jay.
Spot of tea.
Spotted
How is
Jay.
everything over in England?
Yeah, same old, really. We're still in lockdown, and it looks like we will be for quite a while yet. Prime Minister announced today that schools are going to remain closed until some date in March at the earliest, and they're going to reassess.
Wow.
But I read something today about Britain is going to be helping the rest of the world with identifying the new strains of COVID. And in countries where they haven't got the resources, they haven't got the help, they're going to be using what they've got here. So that's good news for other countries around the world. Although they're saying that the new strains are the vaccine will still work with them, but more people seem to be dying from these new strains, which is very worrying. And we've just hit in the UK 100,000 deaths.
We're at 4.
We're 500,000.
But you're so much bigger, so many more people, but it's all bad. Obviously, any deaths are bad.
It's all bad, which is why we need you, which is why we need some more art, which is why we need some rhinestone bling, because there's just this sensation of anxiety and overwhelmingness that is just palpable here.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know what it is, people are a little bit testier, a little bit feistier, a little bit not as nice, and they're stressed out and they're exhausted. It's exhausting.
Absolutely, exhausted, stressed out, worried, anxious, all those negative emotions, which are perfectly understandable. But, as you said, my certain methods that I share with my clients can help you to manage those emotions. You can't change, I always say, you can't change what's going on around you, but you can change how you react to what's going on, and that's what these techniques enable you to do.
We've heard that twice today. We can't change the situation, we can only change how we react. Let's talk about your tapping.
Yeah, so I started talking about a little bit last time, emotional freedom technique, which is abbreviated to EFT, but also widely known as tapping. And I think I mentioned last time that it's derived from acupuncture, but instead of using needles to get rid of blockages in the meridians, the invisible energy lines that we have running through us, you tap with your fingertips on certain acupressure points. You do a little circuit of points. And it just helps everything to go down, to you to feel balanced, calmer. It works apart from working on getting rid of blockages in the energy flow. It also works on the amygdala, the part of the brain, the part of the back, that's associated with fight or flight, the fight or flight syndrome. For anybody watching who hasn't heard of that, it's going back to the caveman times when the caveman went out hunting, and when he met a wild animal, he'd have to fight it or take flight. And the adrenaline rush, whichever way he was going to go, the adrenaline came up. And of course, in modern days, we don't have to come face to face with wild animals, but other things can cause the same reactions, the same bodily functions, symptoms.
That fight or flight, where do we start? Where on the tapping do we start? We start on our face, do we start on our hand?
Right, yeah, we start on the side of the outset. Remember I mentioned last time, I'll repeat it obviously because different people may see this today. And you tap on the outside of one hand with the fingertips of the other, and it doesn't matter which way around you do that. So that is called a karate chop point, for obvious reasons, doing a karate chop with that part of your hand. And you create a phrase, and you just say it like it is, whatever the problem is. And so you might say, I'm feeling really anxious that I might get ill. I'm really worried about money. I'm feeling so depressed. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling sad. You say what it is that you're feeling in your own words, and the more specific, the better. Rather than just say, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm anxious. It's about what. What is it that's causing you to feel that way? And the more specific your phrase is, the more effective the outcome is of the tapping. So you start off with, even though I'm feeling whatever it is. And then you add on an affirmation starting with, I choose. I choose to feel calm and relaxed. I choose to take things moment by moment. I choose to let go of the anger. I choose to, whatever it is that you genuinely do choose to do, the change that you want to make. And we've talked about affirmations before on a couple of occasions, where if you're saying something that isn't true, like if you're saying to yourself, I now feel calm and relaxed, I now feel extremely confident, and you're not telling yourself the truth, which if you're using affirmations, it's not true, otherwise you wouldn't need to be using them. But if you say, I choose to feel calm and relaxed, I choose to take things moment by moment, I choose to let go of this stress, whatever it is, that you're saying that from the heart, you genuinely do choose to let go of those things, release those things. And so you state this setup phrase 3 times. So it's so effective, it's incredibly effective, very, very powerful.
How long do you tap for?
Well, just while you tap on the side of your hand while you're saying this statement.
Just 3 times.
Yeah, I'm really worried about my business, about money, about how I'm going to pay the bills. I choose to feel calm right now and take things moment by moment. For example, that's a phrase. And then you would say that twice more, and that's called the setup phrase. So you're setting up the session by stating what the problem is and what you'd like to feel instead. And then when you've done that, you break it down and you just take the negative bit of the phrase and you tap on 8 pressure points around your face and upper lip, starting with the inside corner of the eyebrow, and you would say, I'm really worried about how I'm going to pay my bills. I'm really worried about how I'm going to pay my bills. There isn't enough money in the bank. I'm not earning enough money to pay my bill. So anything around that phrase, as you go around the circle of points, which I'm tapping on, just 8 points, circle on top of the head is the final one. And there's lots of information on the internet. There are lots of videos on YouTube. Obviously, as with anything, some are better than others, so it's good to kind of make sure that, look at the credentials of the person who created
But let
the
me
video
ask you,
and
why
check
would we tap with the negative phrase instead of, if we're
Yeah,
setting it
good
up,
point.
right? If we're setting up, I'm feeling anxious, I choose to
Yeah.
release my stress. Why wouldn't we tap with I choose to release my stress? Why are we tapping with I feel anxious?
Yeah, well, that was my question when I trained in this method or first heard about it 15 years ago, over 15 years ago. And everything else I do, hypnotherapy, mindset coaching, what's taught and what makes sense is focus on what you want, not what you don't want. You don't want to be thinking, I feel anxious. You want to think about feeling calm. You don't want to think about, I can't do that. You want to think, say to yourself, I can do it if I try. And I'll question that. Why would we say, repeat a negative phrase? And initially, the method, it was just the negative phrase over and over again that you tapped on. You didn't tap on the I choose part of the phrase. So it was explained by the guy who created this method, Gary Craig, that it's, if that feeling, that unwanted feeling, problem, whatever it is, it's in there, rather than shutting it down, pretending it's not there, turning your attention away from it, just while you're tapping, let it come up, focus on it, get in touch with that negative feeling. And as you tap, whilst you're feeling it, it will start to go down, and it does. So before you start, you give it the intensity of the unwanted feeling, a number on a scale of 0 to 10. Obviously 10 being the highest, the most intense it could be, 0 not there at all. So it's just to kind of have a measure. So if you think right now that feeling is a 10, or it's probably about a 7 at the moment, whatever it might be, and then you do your tapping on your 8 points of the focusing on the negative feeling. Then you take a slow deep breath down to your abdomen like a yogic breath, and just kind of breathe it out. And imagine you're beginning to release some of the unwanted feeling. And then you tap on the positive part of the phrase. I choose to let it go, I choose to feel calm, etc. And the same 8 points. And then you take another slow, deep breath, or maybe 2 or 3 if you feel the need to. And then the third round, you alternate the 2 phrases. So I'm feeling so worried about money or worried about my health or whatever it might be. I choose to be in the moment and stay calm. And then you go back to the negative and then the positive. The negative.
You're so calming. You're making everyone just rest here. It's so, right? We've got Robin over here tapping. Freddie's tapping. He's got his eyes closed. I think he needs a nap. Oh my goodness.
I gotta tell you, you're making all of this tapping. I feel like, just pulling up a pillow. I am, but it's hard to focus because you can't do this when you're on the set because you're doing all these things, and I'm missing every other word here. I'm falling out here.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you wouldn't generally do it in public. It's something you do at home when you're feeling those intense negative feelings, whatever they might be.
I'm actually feeling that in public more than you know.
I don't know what it's like in England, but here, where we are right now, at least for us, it's every day you would think it would be getting better. Other than, I think, Robin and Amy, who are always happy, there is so much stress that's going on, and everyone is just on a high level of demand, and it's stressful and anxiety, and it just takes its toll. We did a health segment in the first section because I'm getting all my lab works and everything checked because the stress that you're, even if life is great, you're still holding on to all of this energy around us, and this tapping technique is fantastic.
It is, because everything just relaxes, your mind and your body, and everything just kind of goes to a deeper level of relaxation. And it gets to a point where everything's still the same out there, but you just feel chilled about it, just more philosophical. Well, I can't do anything about that right now. But,
Stop it! I guess you could use this also to try and fall asleep, right? If you wake up in the middle of the night and suddenly you're anxious, it's something quiet you can do to get yourself back to sleep.
Definitely. I've done that myself. Sometimes I can wake up. Fortunately, I generally sleep well, but sometimes you can just wake up and things are going around in your mind and they're not even important, and you're thinking, for goodness sake, I don't want to think about this. I just want to get back to sleep. It's not happening. So you can tap on, even though all these thoughts are going around in my head, I choose to let them go and get some sleep. And then we'll do round tapping.
You got to take a power nap.
You need, and then
a power nap, right?
And then I guess it goes right into chapter 4 in mindfulness, because now that we've understood what our stressors are, we're trying to release it through tapping. Let's talk about the mindfulness.
Yeah, well, mindfulness is about being mindful rather than having your mind full of those 65,000 plus thoughts that we all have going around in our heads.
65,000 thoughts a day.
Yeah, 65,000 is incredible, isn't it? And obviously we're not consciously aware of them all, but they're going on in the background.
In this room, there's 65, 85, 95, and 1. Other than that, it's pretty good.
This is so interesting. I love this quote because you've got other quotes in here. My life has been filled with terrible misfortunes, most of which have never happened.
Yeah, Mark Twain.
Mark Twain. Quote. I mean, think about where we take ourselves, these mountains and molehills that we climb in and out of. I know, I'm like an English muffin, these crevices of where I take my mind. And then you wake up and go, oh, wait, none of that ever happened.
Yeah, but our imagination is so powerful. We go off into a virtual reality, and it feels as if we're there, lying in the gutter with a begging bowl and homeless, and it's like all those feelings come up, and it's come back to reality and think, hang on a minute, right now in this moment, for most of us, at any given moment, things are okay. It's more thinking about what this might lead to, what might happen, or reliving things that happened in the past and bringing back the feelings associated with those past experiences. We're very rarely in the present moment. Most people are thinking the past, reliving the past, worrying about the future.
Right, because I
And
can
so
sit here.
mindfulness-
I can sit here and think, all right, in the next 45 minutes, we have to change the set, move the paintings. Amy's got a show. Where are we putting Robin? Teddy's got to leave
Yeah.
early. Who's going to run the board, right? I got 25,000 things in my head in the past 30 seconds, but I should really just be here having this conversation.
Yeah, that's it. Put it, I
much.
imagine you do have lists with everything on so that you don't forget anything. And just think, right now, in the here and now, what do I need to focus on? Put the others in a box, in a mental sort of compartment, and take one at a time. Because when your mind is scattered and you're thinking of all sorts of different things, you're not able to fully focus on what is important in the moment. So by just making some room to be in the now, then when you're actually fully focused in the now, then you can't feel stressed or anxious because those things are not actually happening. It's the thoughts that create those feelings.
I used to imagine, like, Tony, you know those file folders, like those big accordion folders that like A through Z in them, or they're numbered?
Yeah.
Don't laugh at me, but I used to imagine these folders in my head, or like a filing cabinet, and I would do a task, and I would, in my mind, put it in a filing folder, and then it would like clear. It's like clearing the tabs on your phone. I would put it in my mind and put it away, and like move on to the next tab in my brain, and then file that one away. It was the only way I could compartmentalize different things.
No, that's a
Look
really
at his
good thing
face.
to do. It's
He thinks I'm
one
nuts.
way of doing that. Yeah, it's like I certainly wouldn't laugh at it. It's a good thing to do. However you choose to visualize, it's kind of putting those things out of your mind, putting them into a file, into a box, whatever it might be. But mindfulness throughout the day, it's about remembering to come into the now, because most of the time we're just off somewhere else. So having little maybe post-it notes, sticky notes in various different places, just to remind you how to set your phone at regular intervals, and when the alarm goes off or whatever the sound goes off, just write in that then, just think, well, okay, breathe. Right now, I'm sitting in this chair. Right now, everything's okay. Breathe deeply, and just let all that other stuff go. And then obviously you've got to go back to doing what you were doing, whether it's your work or whatever it might be. But just by having those regular intervals, just free your mind and also free your emotions, really, really helps. And things like just, when you're, most of the time when we're busy, we like jump in the shower, washing our bodies, and the mind's all over the place. But just a simple thing like having a sticky note on the shower door and getting under that warm water, feeling the warm water cleansing you, smelling the shampoo, the body wash, feeling the sponge or whatever you use to wash your body, being aware of all the sensations and being fully immersed, literally, in the water in the shower, rather than, oh, I've got to do this, I'm going to do that, oh, I didn't do that, I wonder if this will happen, I wonder if she'll do all that, and we're not in the moment, are we? It's like that phrase, stop and smell the roses, or stop and smell the coffee. Be in the here and now, when all is okay.
Make you want to take a shower, feel, smell your body wash, and all the things that you enjoy.
You know, this must be something wrong with me, because I don't think that way.
How do you think?
I know that there's a show after us. I see the two ladies. I think of the set. That's it. I took a shower this morning.
Freddie, what are you thinking about? Nothing.
I shaved this morning, and I take a shower, and there's certain things in the shower that I do, and I come out, I dry, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah. I drive to work. I make sure I don't hit anything or no one hit me, and that's it.
That simple?
I worry about what Slick is going to trip over and maybe kill somebody, but that's it. No, in the shower, yes. Let me see what he's going to do today. I don't do that. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I guess maybe men and women are different.
Well, I think there are a lot of stressed men around too. I say a lot of
de-stress in the shower.
But you know,
just different individuals.
But Tony, stress doesn't amount to anything. I come in here, and my partner wants to know why I didn't jump out of a chair when things were breaking. What am I going to do? I'm going to jump out of a chair and what? I'm not Superman. If you knock a TV down, say so goodbye to the TV. There it goes. If you knock this cup down, it's got to be cleaned up. What are you going to do? I'm not going to jump in and change anything. I'm not going to worry about that I can't control. I don't do that. I never done that.
Yeah, you're very fortunate. You know, it's great that you've got that.
I think I got to take a pulse. I may be dead, Tony. I look around this room and there's high intensity all around me. You know, when I used to coach in baseball.
You've got Amy, Robin, and me in one room. I don't know how you're even breathing.
When I used to coach in baseball, right, we were playing a big game, the Little League World Series. We were playing this big game. And I sat down, a cup of coffee, and I'm reading the paper. And all the coaches are running around, and the guy comes over and he says, "How do you do that?" I'm sorry, how do I do what? Read the paper? He says, "Yes. Well, this is the biggest game." And I says, "Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Right now I'm reading the paper." "What is wrong with you?" So he started to take my pulse. He says, "Are you even alive?"
That's how I feel sometimes.
But what is wrong with that?
I look at him and I go, and we got to it, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Oh, my grandfather used to be like that. And what's your rush? It'll all
It's
happen
going to
when it
show up
happens.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Tap,
Yeah,
I know.
it's great.
Tap.
If you can be like that naturally, that's great. But these techniques help a huge number of people who are not able to think that way. So having these tools just to remind them to be present, to do the tapping, to use the rubber band to check their thoughts and chase them away. They're just all tools and techniques as you go through the day to give you back the power really to take control of your emotions rather than having them control you.
Tony,
I have
I'm
an
going to
idea
have
to add with Tony's book.
I'm
Sorry.
going to have 2 fingers created out of plastic, like this, 2 rubber fingers. And I'm going to put it on a stand, and you put your fingers there, and you take it just as a constant reminder. Remember we used to do the thing with the rubber band?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Robin has a starter kit for her rhinestones. With every book, we should send them a pad of sticky notes and a rubber band.
Yeah.
As reminders of what to do, of how to stay mindful. Whatever you know, say, you are beautiful, smile, breathe, snap out of it. I mean, whatever you want them to say.
You are good enough. Right now, all is well. All these really powerful, simple phrases that are true that we tend to forget to remind ourselves mostly.
How do we get your book?
Amazon's best bet. You can download it instantly, or you can order it, and it will probably take about a week or so in the USA. Next day delivery in the UK. And there's a free excerpt that people can download from my website, which is www.innerdepths.co.uk. You can just download the introduction and first chapter, there's some foreword and first chapter to give you an idea of what it's like. And on Amazon, you can look inside the book and read random pages, see the colored illustrations, etc.
A 7-step journey to emotional freedom, your flight to happiness. Tony, I love your book so much. I love having you as part of the Cafe or Manchester studios.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Stay in touch.
You too. Great. See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tony.
Yeah, they're 5 hours ahead, so it's dinner time.
It's really nice because if with the way things are going now, and she is a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, and the way things are going right now, and if you know anybody that you want to have Tony talk to or whatever, arrangements can be made. And it's, on a serious note, it is going on. We talked about this a couple of days ago about suicides and everything else that's going on, and it's out of control, just completely out of control. I think when Pam Polani was here, we
The
talked
mental
about
health
it.
component right now
Completely,
is people need help.
it's just out there. So people like her giving these techniques and everything else. I mean, I'm talking about myself because I'm a little odd to begin with, but there are people who can use any kind of help.
Your aha?
Any
that
kind of
mean?
help. What?
What does that mean?
I'm just saying that if you know anybody or yourself
What
that
does it
wants
mean,
any
your
help.
aha?
I'm a little out there.
Oh, out there.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little out there.
I'm a
so
little uh-huh.
I've always seen life a little bit different
Yes,
than
you do.
anybody else, and just the way I am, it's the way my upbringing was, and my dad had a lot to do with it. And
But you can scream and it goes. You
No,
can
there are-
scream and then I'll hold it for 24 hours.
there are times that it sticks with me and stays with me, but I'm a firm believer that if you can't control what you have, then don't waste the energy doing it, because it ain't going to change nothing.
This book is great. It breaks it down. It's a little bit of Tony's story and really just how to relax. It was really a great Wellness Wednesday.
Very complex woman, Tony. She has a lot of complexities about her.
She used to be a
lot
flight
like the
attendant,
one
a
sitting
model.
over there.
Unbelievable, all the way from Manchester, and we always get an inside look at what's going on in England when we have her on. A little, sometimes even more than our news releases it, which is always interesting.
It's funny because we do these shows every day, and there are certain components of people that throw me back. Like today, Robin's throwing me back to things that I grew up with, and the importance of, and I tell you, my father always told me, appreciate the seconds, not the minutes, and I never knew what that meant until I do the show now, and I get to see some of the things, some of the elements, some of the flavors. I mess around with Slick all the time. We talk back and forth, and I sort of break his horns and everything else. But these are some of the things that we used to do in New York. This is the way we grew up. We didn't hurt anybody. We didn't bully anybody. It was clean fun. And when somebody was in trouble, that was your brother or your sister, you took care of them. You did whatever you had to do to help them get there. So her today is throwing me back to a time in my life that wasn't nice. I suffered panic attacks. I lost my career in the medical profession because of it. I lost my shield as an auxiliary because of it. I used to have these attacks in the middle of the day and everything else. Nobody in the day knew what that meant. Nobody knew what a panic attack was, anxiety and stress. And now I'm seeing it all around me. I'm seeing how things have changed around us because everybody's on edge. Everybody.
I think it's gotten worse in 2021 than even 2020. I don't know why.
Because they're
Everyone's
waiting
shaking
for
their head, yes.
They're waiting for the solution. Well, the vaccine is here, so they see light at the end of the tunnel. None of the frustration is getting it to people. So you have that anticipation of cure, and then South Africa says they found something worse.
And on that note,
well, I'm just saying, psychologically, if you need
have some
help,
Capistar or some Gubba,
Tony's the
or go
best.
hang out with Amy, is all I can tell you.
Yes.
Tune in because we got a great show coming up at 2:30. The Art of Amy Reshevsky. Get your bling on, as Freddie
I'm
said.
going to get my chair and some popcorn because I want to watch this.
Amy Reshevsky and Robin Weiss. You
These
want
two.
to have some sparkle therapy?
You know what they're going to do? They're going to blow the roof off this place, these two.
You don't want to miss it. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Check out Tony's book, Your Flight to Happiness by Tony McKenzie. You can order it on Amazon. More to come at 2:30 today. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save her. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away words can say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors, just a ray of light.